Authenticity is the strongest foundation for your executive coaching business. This video is intended for executive coaches, both new and seasoned, who want to develop their highly successful coaching businesses with ease and joy and grow their business and profits to their full potential. Today, I'm going to share how authenticity is a strong foundation that encourages your ideal clients to reach out to you. As a corporate leader, I was reluctant to bring my own authentic self to my role as president of the company. But in my coaching business, authenticity was the very thing that made my clients seek me out. And by the way, I was authentic as I could be. Let me just say that. I'm Karen Cappello, and before I go into the lesson, I want to let you know why I'm so passionate to share this with you. Before I came into coaching, I was an investment advisor in the estate planning field. And I was working 60 to 70 hours per week. Maybe some of you are working even more. I know nowadays it's different. I was successful and I was exhausted. I would say that I was close to burnout, but I think I actually was there. All I wanted was to work less hours, wake up without an alarm clock, wear comfy clothes, all the while maintaining the lifestyle I had created for myself. I wasn't willing to give up all the bennies and perks to go into something else. But when I did, I'm happy to tell you that I have succeeded and I've gotten my success with ease and joy and all the bennies and perks. I help those executive coaches who were high achievers and leaders in the corporate world generate their own clients and income so they can make the impact on others they want while maintaining the lifestyle they're accustomed to. That's important. In order to bring my authentic self into my coaching business, I came up with the concept of essence energy. And this concept came to me when I first began doing speaking engagements. I wanted to have a deliberate way to get into a state of authenticity that was very powerful for me while I was up in front of the room. And I wanted to have a way of quantifying my own energy. Now, what I've noticed is each person has their very own essence energy. Your essence energy is the energy you exude when you're feeling empowered and strong. It's a feeling you have that comes from deep within. It's a feeling that you've gotten up on the right side of the bed, or when you think you should go out and buy a lottery ticket because you're feeling lucky, or when all the lights have been green as you've traveled to your destination. During my coach training, I received a name for my true self, and it came to me during a guided visualization. And I had this visual of swirling energy all around me, very colorful, and I felt totally alive. And this was the beginning of my understanding of my own essence energy. Now, I know a coach whose essence energy is serene heart, and when I'm with her, I feel genuinely loved in a very secure way. She just exudes this energy of peaceful, loving kindness. I also had a friend years ago who taught power yoga, and he was able to wrap himself into a tiny ball and stand on his head in the middle of the room. And he had such control of his physical self that he could have been in the Cirque du Soleil. And I would call his essence energy powerful control. And then when I think of my father, who is no longer with us in this physical world, a very amazing leader, he had this energy of what I would call kind of his executive presence, but he had this warmth to him too. And I remember I was in the hospital. He was having some surgery, and he was in the hospital, and he was in this hospital gown, and he didn't have any of his like his Rolex watch or his business suits or anything on him. And I watched him introduce himself to his roommate, and you could tell he was an executive. You could just tell by his presence and his essence energy. So as you think about this concept of essence energy, how would you label yours? Is your energy peaceful and calm? Is it more exuberant and joyful? Is it more like a powerful control when you walk into the room? I want you to start your journey with defining your essence energy right now. By doing this, we're taking a step back from the goals, the actions, and even your values. And the reason I want you to know your essence energy is that as you learn to deliberately connect with that essence energy and put yourself in that state, Everything will flow from this. In the first months of my business, I booked speaking engagements with local groups. And as I was practicing my speech, I would deliberately get into that feeling of my essence energy. As I was driving to the presentation, I would get into that state of being. And there was one morning presentation that I gave on inspiration in my second month of coaching. And I remember this because was exactly a morning person, but in those days I really wanted to get going. And it was a great example of the power of getting into my essence energy. I woke up with the alarm clock normally earlier than I normally would, and it was really worth it to me. And I put myself in a state where I could feel my essence energy in a very tangible way. And when I got up and did my presentation to a group of business women owners, I felt so strong. And after the presentation, the woman who had been sitting on my left asked me to be her coach. She ran a small manufacturing company. So I coached with her for 4 months. I listened to her ideas. I helped her pick out the best ones. A year later, she called me to come in for a tune-up session and told me that the ideas that we had come up with together and that she had implemented from our coaching had added over $90,000 to the bottom line of her business. She realized this when she closed her books for the year. So I was really excited about the power of coaching. And I share this story because it shows that as I was in my essence energy, this client came to me. I received so much confidence from her story that it propelled me forward in my coaching practice. Once you know your essence energy, you can use it as a gauge for any business decision you want to make. Just think about making the decision in a certain way and see if the feeling brings you closer to your essence energy or further away. Pay attention to your feelings as you're talking to potential clients or reading articles or listening to podcasts on how to market your business. If you begin to feel your essence energy get stronger, then you will want to move forward. If your essence energy is diminishing, it's probably not the best fit. Your essence energy can be helpful for you with making decisions. And when you start a new business, there are lots of options for how to do this, and it can be very confusing sometimes. Just know that the actions you take that are not in alignment with your own essence energy won't work in a powerful way for you, even if they work for someone else. So you can try the ideas you get from listening to those podcasts and from those business coaches. Yet if they don't resonate strongly with your essence energy, they're going to fizzle. But when you know your essence energy, you can immediately sort through all the confusion, and you're going to know exactly which ideas are going to work for you. You can override any of your limiting beliefs that you have that the answers come from outside of you. They don't. You have your most creative answers. You'll understand you really do know what to do. You can be empowered at any time, just by focusing on what will bring you back into that feeling of essence energy. Okay, so I've named my essence energy tender exuberance. I know that I can be a bit over the top with that exuberance, and I actually squelched that in my corporate days. I would be contained and more quiet. I remember writing warmest regards as a closing to my business letters. It was the most professional yet authentic thing I could come up with. And when I became a coach, I started writing love and great joy as my closing to every email. And even though I've been out of corporate for over 20 years, sometimes I still feel a bit awkward sending out love and great joy. I mean, I was there for so long and in that contained state. I'm getting out of it though. I've made a commitment to being authentic and being in my essence energy. And it really does feel so free to let my exuberance show now. And there's also this feeling of tenderness that accompanies the exuberance when I'm in my true essence. This feeling of tenderness and love adds a connection to others along with that effervescent feeling. And I know even talking about love is a little awkward in our corporate days. And so many people are talking about love and the ability it has to transform people and organizations. So that's my essence energy, tender exuberance. It helps me be my authentic self. And I hope you can feel that energy emanating from me right now. So, the lesson, just get into your essence energy and we'll support you to bring your true, authentic self to your executive coaching business. If you're a senior leader who's interested in starting your own coaching business, contact me to see how long it will take to replace that corporate income, because we are in business. I have a series of 5 questions that I will ask you that will determine a time range in which it's highly probable. Could be shorter than you think. So if you're interested, let's talk. And in the meantime, get in your essence energy and see what happens.